The way New York looks, something us residents usually take for granted, and that tourists flock to see, was very close to looking completely different on so many occasions in our history. Imagine a skyline that included a giant suspension bridge cutting through the tip of Manhattan, stretching past Governor's Island all the way to Red Hook, Brooklyn, or a floating airport along the Hudson River. How about a gigantic dome over mid-Manhattan to provide good climate control? As kooky as these ideas may sound, they were all projects planned for New York City that never made it past the drawing board. Now, nearly 150 plans, renderings, and models of some of the boldest and most far-fetched urban design ideas are being showcased in a new exhibition at the Queens Museum titled Never Built New York, based on the book by the same name. The book's authors and co-curators of the exhibit, Greg Golden and Sam Lubell, join me now. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in combing through all of these different ideas, first and foremost, for each of you, what was the wackiest that you saw, that you were just like, somebody seriously thought this was a good idea?
Has to be the floating airport. I think the William Zeckendorf Airport in the Hudson River, because its scale is unthinkable. It's something like 48 blocks long. It would have consumed the entire half the Hudson River and probably half of that west side of Manhattan. And I can't imagine that ever having been built.
Imagine the sound of airplanes flying over you right in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, you kind of think, well, that would have been really helpful for Captain Sully Sullenberger, but at the same time, that does seem completely ridiculous. Was there one that stuck out for you?
Well, it's not usually considered wacky, but it would have been destructive, which is the Lower Manhattan Expressway, which was proposed by Robert Moses and would have gone basically along Broome Street from the Holland Tunnel all the way to the Williamsburg Bridge and the Manhattan bridges. And it would have taken out a lot of Soho and a lot of the Lower East Side. That's
some good real estate.
Yeah, that's some good real estate. It wasn't considered as good back then, and the idea wasn't considered far-fetched at all. It actually went extremely close to happening. There was probably one vote away from happening. So
wow.
We're happy that one didn't happen.
Well, going through some of these ideas, there was one that stuck out to me as maybe not a far-fetched idea, but maybe an idea that could have come to pass. And that was, from 1920, a gentleman named Daniel Lawrence Turner, who was with the Transit Construction Commission subway plan, and he was proposing a tunnel that went from Brooklyn to Staten Island. That didn't happen. Why not?
Well, he had a very, very ambitious plan for Manhattan. Already back in 1920, the place was way too congested, and he realized that they had to get out in front of it quickly. And he proposed that subway connection from Staten Island to Brooklyn, but he also proposed about twice the size of the current system that we have today, including, if you look at the map, about 6 times as many, or even more, as many crosstown subways in Manhattan, which we all know is a problem now.
And borough to borough.
Borough transit. The boroughs would have been crisscrossed with a lot more. So he basically looked at the same thing we're looking at now and said, this is not good.
I just have to share this because there's a great quote that he said in here, and again, this was 1920. In order to keep pace with the enormous traffic growth, the city must build more transit facilities, then more again, and still more again, and must keep doing this continually.
Exactly. Yeah, he was.
To me, that's it.
He was right on, and we've looked at a lot of transit schemes that would have changed the city. There was a plan in the 1870s for pneumatic by a inventor named Alfred Ely Beach for a pneumatic system.
Much like Elon Musk's
the
Hyperloop today, it would have been, you've been carried on a curtain of air from one station to the next. There were other ones in 1870. There were elevated ones in 1870. There were plans to take all truck transit in Manhattan and turn it into a miniature underground railroad to move all goods throughout the city. You would never see a truck on the surface roads in Manhattan. That was proposed before World War I.
Okay, again, these all sound like really practical ideas now. Was it just funding and money that killed a lot of these ideas?
There's so many different reasons, although the reasons are sort of the same all through history. Money is probably the biggest one. They run out of funding. But politics was what killed that subway I mentioned, and that does it a lot. basically the transit commission that Turner worked for became the state commission because they were sick of the sort of the shenanigans of Tammany Hall, and et cetera, et cetera. And they wanted to centralize everything, but that held everything up, and then it became never built.
And also, an idea can be prescient. It can be well ahead of its time and still never be realized because no one will come to accept that it is a good idea, flat out.
All right. Well, Tammany Hall seems to be the gift that just keeps giving. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for co-curating this exhibit. I think it'll be really exciting and interesting to see what could have been. And this is a great companion book that goes with it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Never Built New York exhibit will be at the Queens Museum till February 18th of 2018. Be sure to see it, and for more information, log on to metrofocus.org.